Um, yeah, glove work and infielding. Just kind of, I guess, a little bit of background of kind of, I don't know, infielding stuff I've done a lot with Jeff over the last few years with Aiden and his group a lot. So I've been lucky to be a part of a few camps that I've learned a lot from. Obviously, there's a lot of things you can go over by all means. David Tomshay he had a camp here. He had the Twins infield guy came in here, did that. That was a really good one that we had in our area. Another one that I was able to go to. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Trotsky. Obviously, I'm kind of a nerd with that, Jeff would probably say, by all means. But if you ever have, he was just in Des Moines on Saturday. Really good infield wise. He worked with Bobby Witt Jr. When Bobby Witt Jr. wasn't the best shortstop probably in the planet right now. He was still really good. And then he just kind of worked with him and just drilled him. But also just Trotsky's biggest thing too is the mental side of the game. I think that is one thing with our kids, and I'll talk about more of that later, is just helping them with the mental side. At times kids really do struggle with that, whether it's self-pressure, everything with that, whether and it's just pressure from your teammates and everything, whether you're the best player on your team or you're the worst player on your team, you're dealing with that pressure. And I think our job as coaches, just be the biggest fan and be the biggest supporter and just help them, instead of just kind of keep on, they're already hard on them, or they're already worried about letting dad down in anything. So the biggest thing is just keep on them, have them be kids, have fun, end of the day. So yeah, that's kind of some of the things that I'm kind of go over here with. So biggest thing I think, just after warm-ups, I would do infield dailies on your throwing, especially when you're getting outside. That's the easiest time to do it. Jeff and I did that over the last 4 or 5 years. It was just a lot easier. Even if you're throwing inside, I'm not sure how your guys' practice plans are, but if they're throwing, and even if they're throwing into a net, that's perfect time. They already have their gloves and everything. So, they have their partners. The biggest thing I put in here too is challenge them not to be the first ones done. What I mean by that is it's really easy to just kind of just go and go as fast as I can, get it done. So yep, I'm done, whatever. So I challenge any group that I'm a part of, whether if I'm running an infield camp that we ran here a couple weeks ago, or if it's any groups that I work with, it's like, I don't want to see you be the first one done. That's not a good thing to be the first one done. That means you're just, you're going through, maybe going too fast through it. So, what you want me to demonstrate? So the biggest thing you see a lot of guys doing, and this is one that at the Trotsky camp, kind of learned that was actually doing dailies wrong at the first part. And I'll explain kind of what I mean by that. A lot of times we're told to just keep working your way through it. Now if this is if it's a hard ground ball at you, the biggest thing you want to do here, and I'll let Jeff roll it to me. So he's going to roll it hard at me. The biggest thing you see a lot of people do is just going and kind of coming through too much. You actually, if you think about it, when you're rolling it through, everything you want to have is you want to receive it. You want to, Jeff calls it funnel in. There's different, you don't have to call it the same things, but what it is you're receiving it in to where you're bringing it in to that center chest. Center chest, and it's called center chest double V, or double V center chest. So what that is when you're bringing it in, you're receiving it in, and you bring it here, you got your double V's here, about 45 degrees, everything center chest, because you want everything comes to center chest because it's the same starting point throwing it to it. So you want consistency for your kids to be coming everything to center chest with it. Now the reason being why I'm saying not work your way through it is if you think about it, you're working your way through it. Now I gotta go, I'm going out and then I gotta come back up in.
So I've been doing these wrong for years, so.
Well, you guys saying, is that just, if you, are you not?
This is a hard,
you're not
this is a hard,
back.
this isn't a slow roller, yeah, you gotta come and you gotta come through it and then you gotta throw on the run. This is just a good solid ground ball hit at you where you're just receiving it in compared to working through it. Does that make sense?
Any comment? We have like Division I infielders
Yeah.
here, so I'm not,
So-
I'm a pitcher, so. Any comments on that, guys?
Yeah, well, we can always work that, start with the feet, field, and funnel. So
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of just work on that when
Yep.
we're in 8 and 9U. But
Yeah.
getting that consistency and getting in a good spot as well.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's receiving it in, but then also the next step with it. So what you're doing is you're doing about 8 to 10 at you, then you're doing forehands 8 to 10, backhands 8 to 10 as well. So like I said, these are hard hit ground balls at you. Now, if you're working on short hops, yes, you got to go and you have to attack the baseball per se, and you want to create that and keep that short hop, or turn that short hop into a long hop. But obviously, infield dailies, you're not turning anything into a long hop or anything like that. But yeah.
Backhand, same thing.
Backhand, same thing. The biggest thing too is when you're doing those short hops, if it's out front, we got to go get it. If it bounces in front, they got to adjust and they got to funnel it in. Does that make sense? So Jeff, you want to try to hit right here if you can.
So short hop?
On a short hop.
Yep.
So
That was terrible.
see how I funneled that one in? Get it on the second hop.
Yep.
And that one I probably should have hit. So every hop's a little bit different. The biggest thing is a good infielder is going to create the hop that they want to, by all means. Now they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 13-year-olds. Even honestly, our high school kids, not great infielders just because they don't, here's what happens when they're doing infield daily stuff. They're just kind of, that's typically what you're doing. They're just kind of going through the motions. So really just focus in on the process of really just taking those reps seriously. So when they go through that, like I said, they're doing regular ones at you, forehands and backhands, 8 to 10 in each. Then you add the glove into it. Same thing. I won't bore you with that.
Dusty,
Same thing.
does Trotsky on backhands, forehands, you're angling your body, right?
Angling your body.
And then, are you still going on backhand, going through it like this?
If it's a short hop.
Short hop, no?
If it's short hop, yeah. But if it's like I said, it's a hard ground ball, you're receiving that in back into center chest.
Yeah.
The other thing too, this is another one I kind of put in some of your notes here. Kind of an easy one, especially younger age, like 5 fingers down, just allowing the ball and showing it where to come. What that creates too, Twins guy actually showed this. Damon did was pretty much everybody has a logo on there. It's called showing the eye. It's an easy one for younger kids to say, hey, show the eye, show where it needs to be at. Now, if you're up like here, like this, obviously you have no way to hit it. You have the 5 fingers down. That way you're showing that eye. You're going to show the ball where it needs to go, whether you're coming through it or coming back, back through it as well. So
Not to backtrack on you, Dusty, but back and forth, and the same thing you're saying is still funneling that.
yeah, like I said, these are hard ground balls. That's the difference. Now, if it's a slow roller, yeah, then we got to come through it.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But yeah, this is just kind of just your routine, decently hit ground ball.
Is that what would be your focus on these dailies?
That would be the focus on these dailies, just receiving it in. And the biggest thing is just everything comes to center chest, really to center chest. We want them to be in that same position. The more, it's just like anything, the more often that you're in that same routine position, the more successful we're going to be with it, right? So just help them get into the correct positions. So, like I said, focus on showing the eye, 5 fingers down, double V, you know, everything to center chest. Does that make sense for the most part with that? Like I said, I'm not gonna bore you to death with doing 36 dailies here with Jeff or whatever. My days of being a good infitter or passing, I guess, so. But, yeah, so that's kind of the infield dailies. I would do them, they're dailies, I would do them every day. And it's stuff that these kids can do every day. You know, whether it's with a tennis ball, at home, on the garage, whatever. So just challenge them to do this, a lot of this stuff at home. They have these the rebounders that you'll see actually behind Mike there or whatever. Like that's an easy one. If they have one at home, you can, you know, 125 bucks or so, and they can work on this a lot themselves and just, you know, how good do they want to be? Stuff like that.
Do you have any, when they're on their knees, do you have a focus with them as far as?
So when they're on their knees too, they can be sitting back like this. The biggest thing too, and I'll talk about this here next, is infield posture. You want their chests to be over top of their feet or over top of their knees. You want the chest forward a little bit, because also that way, when you are eventually moving your feet into it as well, your momentum's taking you, like we're acting like we're at third or shortstop, you know, second base, your momentum's taking you to first base as well. So your you know, infield posture, so on that. You're good. So infield posture. First and foremost, just being ready to play the position. I kind of talked about this with Jeff at the infield camp. Trotsky calls it just chatter is what he calls it. So what that is your feet are moving, right? So if you're stuck in the mud, you're not gonna be very good. Now, some guys, you know, some colleges teach it to where they want that hop, which is kind of cool to see all four of those guys hopping at the same time, all in sequence or whatever. But at each age level, it kind of just depends. The biggest thing is even if you just get kids that are just a step in, you know, you see Bobby Witt. I'll go back to him. Obviously, he was fun to watch in the World Baseball Classic. So, but he's just got a little bit of a hop. So, just getting that timing with it at that younger ages, it might be better just to have them just do that little step. So that's kind of with that. So chat, like I said, the easy one is like before they're pitching is just chatter. Just kind of keep those feet moving. Don't have them be stuck in the mud. That makes sense.
And I looked at my whole high school infield yesterday, it was 35 degrees, and they were all like hand in the pocket of the sweatshirt like this.
Yeah. 35 degrees has a little bit to do with that.
Cold.
Now, obviously after whether you have either that prep step, some might call it, or that little hop, the biggest thing is you want to have your arms at about a 45-degree angle. Arms are quiet. You want to obviously be athletic, because obviously you don't know where that ball is going to be hit, where you need to go. So arms at about a 45-degree level. Think about it. Probably think of it as like you're a wrestler. This is probably the best way to explain it to some kids. Some kids it might, our wrestlers will understand that a little bit better. They're ready to shoot, right? So where are they at? I mean, you'll see all of them are just right here with the hands out. Like I said, chest about a little bit over top of my knees. Weight a little bit more forward. That way we can decide where we need to go on that hop. I think the hard thing maybe with that hop would be just understanding the timing of that release. That's probably the hard part with the younger ones, where maybe that step is a little bit easier. The older they get, that hop, just understanding each pitcher is a little bit different. Obviously, when you get to college level, they've played a long time where they understand that. So, yeah, move loose with your chest over your feet. Kind of explain that. Mike kind of got to this earlier. especially the younger the age, you know, and the rookie academy that we're doing, the fun, you know, those kids, I say butt, they just start laughing, you know, or whatever. Like, yeah, Coach Dusty said butt 75 times a day at practice. But it's the truth. If you think about it, you know, and it's the easy thing to have them do, you know, even at your up to 13U and even to high school. Like the big thing is, you know, and I would tell the kids, like, if your Little League baseball coach says, hey, get your butt down. Say, okay, coach, get my butt down. Now be athletic and go try to go get that baseball, right? You're here, you're not athletic. If your butt is up, now we can move. We're able to move side to side. Obviously, I don't move very good because I'm old. Not a young guy like Marion back there. So if your butt is up, you're athletic and you're able to move a little bit easier. So that's what that means. Just get that butt up in the air. It can be too high by all means too. It's kind of that fine line. But the biggest thing is the old, you know, get your butts down. I'll lose my mind if I hear anybody say that. I'm not gonna lie to you. So. Yeah, so that's kind of infield posture wise, kind of one of the other points or whatever. Ground balls, how to throw after you actually field it. Just kind of some things that this would be a good one to talk to all your kids about. Ball at you or just a routine play, it's just a normal, regular throw. So I mean, just kind of like how we were infield dailies, we're here, and then step and throw.